Welcome to Mimimedlife story part 2. I just want to recap what I said last time on my part 1. So I did tell you guys that there was a database while I was in Cape Verde before I immigrated to US. I had this database that was really useful to select the schools that I wanted to attend in US, the schools that I thought, I would like to be part of. And the database allowed me to basically fill one application for several schools. And I also let you guys know of the process of acquiring certain documentations that I needed to fulfill the application phase, right? And I did mention about TOEFL and Boston Academy of English. So the TOEFL exam is a English proficiency exam that basically puts you on a map in terms of how well you're understanding, speaking, and writing English. I did a written part, but there's also an electronic part that I took later, which I will get into it. And the Boston Academy of English is an organization that allowed me to basically take entry-level English courses to get my confidence up and feel like I'm ready and understand the level of English that will be required in a 2 or 4 year university. So, part 2, I will go into how I decided to take TOEFL exam again, but electronic, because what I realized when I immigrated to the US, that some schools wanted the electronic version rather than the written version, right? So I decided to retake the electronic version. And I did really well, guys, more than I'd expected. And Quincy College was my next step. I decided to go to a community college to just be, smart and wise in terms of finances. Quincy College was much more affordable than a 4-year university. It's a 2-year institution where I just basically selected 4 classes: mathematics, computer, history, and there was another one that I always forget. But I will look into it and let you guys know what that class was. And there's always, a level of confidence that it's needed to be able to do well in school, and being an immigrant, it doesn't know how classes are conducted in American schools. There's always some level of nervousness that can get in the way. That's why I decided to do Boston Academy of English to give me that level of understanding that I needed. And it was great. I do not regret doing it. And thanks to my parents that allowed me to get that experience, because I also not only perfected my English a little bit, but I also was living in a residency house or hall with several students from different countries. Like there was Italians, there were Venezuelans, and also Hispanic, Latinos that lived with me, and American as well, of course, that I just gave me that, okay, this is how it's going to be like living with American or people that are international or people just from different countries. So I was like, okay, I got it. And then after that phase, after doing my courses in Quincy College, I decided to enroll in a 4-year university, which was Bridgewater State University. Bridgewater was just fantastic, guys. There's no words to describe. Absolutely. So in Bridgewater, most of my journey there revolved around being involved with different clubs like SGA or Student Government Association, CVSA, Cape Verdean Student Association, and many other clubs that I was involved, guys, which I will leave down in the description below so you guys just have an idea of how many clubs I was enrolled in. And also several classes in biology, chemistry, biochemistry. I took piano classes, I took music classes. I was just really focused into getting on my extracurricular, my all the requirements that I needed, prerequisites, everything that I needed to be able to get the medical classes in order. So at Bridgewater State University, I was so fortunate, guys, to experience studying abroad and I did a study abroad in Japan and Taiwan in 2012 during winter time. So I decided to join because I had a history course that I wanted to take, and people that know me know that I'm not really a fan of history. I never liked history, but I was like, interesting, maybe I can experience history in another level because I'm doing it abroad. It's going to be kind of like more like a trip or vacation than more classroom experience. And it was 3 credits, and I did it for like 28 days. So it was intense, but it was super, super, super great. I will never regret going to Japan. And while I was there, I think that was my first experience with sushi, guys. Ramen, dumplings, I was all out. I was not afraid of trying. I think I mistakenly ate a grasshopper thinking it was French fries. But I was like, oh no, I'm not doing that twice. And and I had also a funny experience when I was there. There was a woman at the market while I was passing by one night with some of the students from 𝑉𝑒𝑟𝑑𝑒 State University that went with me on a study abroad trip. We were passing by looking at different things, and this lady was like, oh, you look so beautiful, let me touch your hair. I was like, yeah, go ahead. This was not her accent, by the way, but well, I'm not proficient in accent, so I'm not gonna try it. And I did let her touch my hair, and when she did, guys, she pulled my hair so hard. I was like, wait, it's real, okay? She was like, oh, I'm sorry. I was, yeah, it's real. I usually keep it like this. It's called an Afro style. And she was like, so interesting, very beautiful. I was like, thank you, and I walk away fast. I was like, deuces. Then when I returned to Bridgewater, I was just doing the same things, taking courses, make sure I was, always active and involved. Food-wise, I have to let you guys know, international students that are coming into US, the food part might throw you off. It threw me off a lot. I know when there's one thing I could never eat while I was on campus. Meatloaf and scrambled eggs. I don't know why. I tried it in the first day. I vomited so much, and I was like, you know what? I'm done. I experienced it, and this is not for me. And people would eat meatloaf like left to right, scrambled eggs every morning for breakfast. I was like, They don't scramble the eggs enough. They just break the eggs or put the like white mix into the pan or the thing, and they just like scoop it a couple of times, and they're like, is it? I'm like, no, it's not cooked. It's not cooked. Cook it again. And they were like not paying any attention to me because they had many students in a row to serve. They're not gonna like give me special attention. So I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna eat scrambled eggs. That's it. So whenever I asked for an omelet, I was very specific because, the omelets, they had, to add stuff in it. So they paid attention into what you wanted. And I asked them, make sure you cook the egg. Make sure you flip the egg a couple of times because I want it done, well done. So after that, I participated in a few, summer activities. There were summer times in which I did not take classes because, it was too much financially. And in the end of Bridgewater State University, that was like very interesting, guys. Whew, I was like, oh my goodness, my 4 years journey is ending, and my visa will expire after my graduation. It was like, oh boy. And I didn't want that to happen because I was like, I want to stay here. I want to do medical school here. So I panicked. I was like, you know what? I'm going to call my mom and tell her maybe I need to pack because I'm not able to find a job this quickly. I still have to finish my semester. I still have to finish my senior year. And the time is running out. And they only give you like 90 days grace period or something like that to be able to find a job and extend your student visa or F1 visa into an OPT. So OPT is optional practice training, and is an extension of the F1. So the OPT would allow you to work, right, in the field that you majored in. right? Or related fields that you majored in. I majored in biology, and I also had chemistry as a minor. And boy, it wasn't per se easy. But I had a little bit of facilitation because there's so many different areas you can get into coming from a healthcare major, right? So I had to submit a bunch of paperwork with the International Student Office to be able to like meet the deadline. And it's something that you always have to pay attention to. Your visa, your papers, always know what date is listed so you don't miss the chance, because if you miss it, you might not be able to extend it. And that was very important for me. So when I did that, I remember I took a break. I went home to Cape Verde, and my mom was like, well, we need to get you someone quick to talk to somebody that knows. And it was a physician named Manuel Fonch, which is a physician that at the time was working at Yale, and he opened the doors for me. He was like, yeah, come and work for me. I was like, yes, I will go. And when I was accepted to work at Yale University, I was like, wait, maybe I can take some classes and get into medical school there. You know, you never know. I'm in as an employee, but you never know. I can enroll myself as an international student at Yale. You never know. But you know, while I was there, I was like, okay, this is not quite so, but I was glad to work there as a employee, because it just opened so many doors after that. But I don't want to jump the gun so fast into telling you guys about Yale. Before I talk to you about Yale, I must say that before leaving BSU, I had so many good things happening to me. I had so many scholarships, guys, so many scholarship and rewards for like always being an outstanding student. I was the first African or international student at the magazine as a student spotlight. Bridgewater State University as a student spotlight. There's always like a white person or a Caucasian student showcased in the magazine, and never a black student. So I was like surprised to even know that the school has almost 100 and something years, and there has never been a black student as a spotlight in the magazine. And I was like, well, this is a privilege. And I also I was able to enroll with a professor to start writing a paper in chemistry. So what I did some work with lead poisoning, where I basically screened different toys that I bought at bargain stores like Dollar Store, Toys R Us, and different stores like that, even big brand names, to test the level of content of lead in those items or parcels. And what it showed, that some of these China made had actually surprisingly a large amount of lead. And I had to report that to CDC and all of that. It was like super interesting. It was amazing. And I remember when I was doing my poster presentation on that paper, lead poisoning, right? Because, you know, some children do suffer from lead poisoning. They get hospitalized because of that. Some children might even die from it, or have, you know, some deficiency due to poisoning. So when I was presenting my poster, this Asian guy was coming and just looking at the different posters that the students had laid out. And he just walked towards me and he started reading from afar. And then when he got and saw China in my paper, he was like, why do you have China? Why do you have China? I was like, well, this is one of the countries. I was like, this is one of the countries that I was, investigating, because some of the toys that are being sold are usually from China, made in China, and different, other countries as well, that have been reported to have high content with lead. Nothing else. And he was not happy. Guys, he was like, and my professor was like on the other corner beside me and like looking from afar. And then when the guy went away, she came and said, you did good. While I was at Yale, blessing, I was able to participate third, fourth author, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't looked at the paper in a while, but I was able to help publish 2 different papers in medicine. Guys, that's no small thing. Huh? And it was amazing to do that part, and I learned a lot into, preparing the logistics, or having, the graft right and the data right, and basically the data backing up the story that we were trying to make, and the investigation that occurred through time, and all the data collected needed to be on point, right? Because these are saving lives. You're trying to save lives, right? I worked with 2 medical students, one from Uganda and another one from Nigeria. Super smart. One was doing a fellowship to get into residency. She had just finished her medical school training in a Caribbean university, just like moi. And the other one was a Ugandan guy that was in her 4th, maybe 3rd, 4th year of medical school at Yale, and he was ready to just basically start looking into residencies, right? So I still talk to one of them, the Ugandan guy. I still talk to him, and he's doing great. Once in a while, I check up on him. While I was there, I grinded, guys. There was a primary investigator that I worked with. He was Manuel Fontes, which I said. He gave me the opportunity to start working and see how will it look like to work in a hospital setting. And he had a personal nurse, research assistant that followed him with everywhere he went in terms of research. And he had her prepare different cases, clinical trials, and all the associated work came to moi. And I was loving it. I was like, bring it. I was ready to kick ass. All right. So while I was there, I was able to see open heart surgeries. I was able to solicit or invite patients into different clinical trials that were like safe, like measuring their blood pressure to see how pre-op blood pressure are, being monitored, how well they're being monitored, and what is the attention that we need to dedicate, and what's the implication of monitoring blood pressure before operation and after operation to make sure they have the best prognosis or outcome. So that was amazing because I was like, if I didn't come here, I would never have this experience. This is so joyful, so it's rich, that I can never fathom to say this is something that I must experience right now. I would have probably gone home with no prospects. But I stuck to the plan, submitted the application, and I stayed under OPT throughout the whole Yale University journey as an employee. And my title was research associate. So I was doing everything research related, but I did some more. I was able to also go into hematology cancer department and shadow physician that basically would come into his office. The patient would usually be there waiting for him, and he would go and do a whole patient history, asking questions head to toe. And he allowed me one day, I think it was my 2nd day with him, and he was like, okay, here you go, Miriam, take your paper, take your pen, go and ask questions and come and report to me. He already knew what basically the patient was going to need, but he just wanted to have me have a go. And I was like, oh my goodness. I was so nervous, but I was like, you know what? I need to make him proud. I need to say something. I need to keep my composure and just go and hit it head on. I went in, I asked questions, maybe way too many questions than what was needed. I had no idea what the patient needed. And when I came out, he said, okay, what was the answer? I said, the patient had this, and that. And he was like, okay, she's gonna need this, and it's a really sensitive time. I think she had to do something in the bone marrow, like a painful procedure. I don't remember quite well, but it was very, emotional. And this is the end of part 2 of Mimimedlife story, guys. I hope you enjoyed listening to me and all the course of things that I did. And I just hope to keep you guys updated in more videos. There's just one more video, part 3, coming out, and I hope you guys are staying safe. Please protect yourself, care for other people, be mindful, and love yourself.